Joining me this morning, 1045theteam.com, is UAlbany broadcaster Zach By. And Zach, the Times-Union reported yesterday that UAlbany and Siena have reached a deal to keep the Albany Cup going. The game this year will be played at the Times-Union Center, the following year at CEFCU Arena, and then the third year of the agreement, it will be at the Times-Union Center again as part of a tournament, so not just a Siena home game, as part of a tournament in that third year. What's your first reaction when you hear this?
Oh, my first reaction is just thank God the deal got done, because the alternative was not having a game for the next 3 years. And, you know, for everyone in the Capital Region who's ever experienced that game, you know just exactly what you're losing. And forget the Capital Region. Outside, nationwide, there's not many bigger mid-major rivalries, especially regional rivalries, like Albany and Siena, that can, on demand, get 11,000 people, for 10 consecutive years like they have. I mean, this is a gem for the Capital Region. You think of Saratoga for that month, and then outside of that, you'd have to put Albany and Siena as probably the best Capital Region sports event that we have, and maybe it's even first, depending on who you ask. So I'm just glad that this thing got done, man.
When we look at next year, do we have a date yet scheduled? I know that UAlbany and Siena were holding dates for each other. Is that date officially set yet, as far as you know?
Yeah, it is, and I forget it offhand, but it's December, I want to say 12th or 17th. I forget. It's one of those dates, and that'll be at Siena down at the Times-Union Center. And then the following year, the date is not set yet because it's just too far out in advance, but that'll be at the CEFCU for the first time. So, you know, the dates are happening. It's locked in. They're moving forward. So I'm just like I said, I'm glad that cooler heads prevailed, egos aside. They sat down and got the thing done because it needed to get done.
I guess I'm curious, in your opinion, who do you think has the leverage in these talks? Do you think it was Siena had the talks because they have the quote-unquote better venue? Do you think it was UAlbany had the leverage because they've been the more successful team in recent years?
Well, I will say this. Albany had more leverage than they've ever had. I don't know if one tipped the scales and had 51% and the other the minority, but I know for sure Albany has more of a foothold right now in Capital Region athletics than they have ever had. And we have to remember, Brady, you and I grew up in the Capital Region. Albany wasn't a Division I team when we were young. I mean, they just went Division I in 1999. That's, 16 years ago. In the whole scope of the university, that's not a long time. So they're now just 15, 16 years into the process. They've had a whole bunch of success in the last 10 years, 5 NCAA tournaments since 2006. So they're now having enough clout and that credibility to say, you know what, we have to stand up for ourselves at this point. We may still be the younger brother, but the younger brother's getting bigger and stronger, and he has a little bit more say now, and that's the situation that UAlbany found themselves in. And not only have they had the success on the macro scale of going to the NCAA tournament, they've also handed it to Siena in recent years in this game after, Siena has dominated this series for such a long time. So you couple those two things together, and Albany has now more of a voice than they've ever had.
Do you think either program needed this game on their schedule more than the other, or is it just a situation where the area needs this game and therefore they both need it?
I think they both needed it the same amount. I think they both needed it just as bad as the area needed it. I mean, not only is the Capital Region a better place because we have this game, but also both of these schools are better off. I mean, listen, Siena has a terrific schedule, and so does Albany. But what game will Siena or Albany schedule inside the Capital Region that's going to draw 12,000 people? There is no one on that schedule unless you're going to bring in, Syracuse or a top BCS school like that, and those schools are reluctant to go on the road to a place like Siena. So I think both schools needed it. The Capital Region needed it. It is all around a home run, and that's ultimately, Brady, why the deal got done. Because if it was not as beneficial to both schools as it truly is, then the game wouldn't be happening.
Zach, we'll shift away from UAlbany Siena for a moment. UAlbany opens up at Kentucky next year. How excited are you to go on the road to Rupp Arena to start the 2015-16 season?
Oh, I'm all fired up. to go out to Rupp Arena. I'm a big Kentucky fan. I'm going to have to temper my enthusiasm because I feel like when I walk in that place, it's going to be like a palace. That is the pinnacle of college basketball. It's almost closer to a pro team, isn't it? I mean, it seems like that school is in its own class right now, even, ahead of traditional powers like, Louisville, Syracuse, UNC, and Duke. It feels like Kentucky right now is the true thoroughbred. But you know what? As great as that experience will be, I swear, I think I'm just as happy that the Albany Cup is going to be played in 2 years at the Sefcu Arena as I am to go to Rupp Arena, and I really mean that because this is such a big deal. I'm so excited that this thing's happening. I'm so excited that people are going to finally come to the Sefcu. I mean, that's really what Albany fans have wanted for the same time. Look, just because the Dean Dome is 10 miles away and fits 10,000 more people doesn't mean they go and they don't play at Cameron Indoor. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that it's an all-around good day for Albany. Opening up at Kentucky, you got Siena coming in town in 2 years. The deal got done. Just an all-around good day.
Zach By, you Albany men's basketball broadcaster, joining us here at 1045theteam.com. Zach, a little bit of a downtime here for you until you Albany football starts up. Enjoy it because you're going to be busy again soon.
Hey, thanks a lot, Brady. Appreciate you having me on.